Believe it or not, in this middle of all this snow, we're picking up a motorcycle.
Boy, that S&S shovel rips. I had no idea it was gonna be like this, baby. Dang. Centering my chi, liking butts on Instagram, and lowballing dudes on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice run.
Did he break down?
I push heavier bikes further than 1.3 miles.
Grr. I hate looking things up. I wish I could just visually ascertain it. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
Oh yeah, dude. I got it in gear. It's like nothing, dude.
What's up, Burrito? Shade Tree Surgeon here. Just reminding everybody that the Square Grouper, the Miami device, this acid trip trapper keeper of a road glide, is still up for grabs. Only a few hundred people have bought tickets. Someone's gonna win this bike, but every single dollar from every single raffle ticket bought is going directly to Forgotten Angels to help them fight against the cycle of abuse in the foster care system. Every single day in America, hundreds, if not thousands, of young men and women, teenagers who've been abused by their parents in ways I can't even say on YouTube, and then put into foster care homes that are bad actors who are just treating them like animals, locking them in a room, collecting a check from the government until they turn 18, and on that day they're given a garbage bag with their belongings in and made homeless and thrown out onto the street. Well, that's where Dave and Cindy and Forgotten Angels step in, and that's where we step in as well, and this road glide right here. Click that link down below, grab yourself a raffle ticket, and be a bad person doing good things. What's up, Weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, and we're not in Florida anymore. We're on a mission that's taking us to places that Florida men should never go. There's not a swamp or an alligator in sight, and the rain around here is acting pretty weird. Bro, how do you guys deal with this? Dude, I bet those things are full of frozen poop. Bro, look at your perfect Doc Martin boot prints. That's freaking great. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm glad we pulled over. We're actually on a time crunch. Believe it or not, in this middle of all this snow, we're picking up a motorcycle. We gotta get there fast. Not too fast though, because this is my very first time driving in snow. Welcome to Montana. Let's go pick up a Shovelhead. It's not snowing anymore, so I guess I better show you guys why we were driving through the misty and then snowing mountain. We already had Shaylee's V30 Magna in the back of this trailer, but we're on a mission to pick up something really, really special. I had to travel all the way to Montana to get it. And now I wouldn't go all the way to Montana for just any bike, but when it's a 1982 Shovelhead, we make the trip. And of course, this isn't just any 1982 Shovelhead. This one is a present. This is the dream bike of one Sugar Tree J. A child of the 70s and 80s, he's lusted after an FXR, and not just any FXR, but a Shovel FXR for a very, very long time. Not exactly the easiest bike to find in the world, even though I do have one. It was only a 2-year bike. The 82 is extra special because that was the first year that Harley-Davidson bought back the company and the employees owned it. Even though they've been making the Shovelhead for a long time, they just started making the Shovelhead FXR, and I like to think that the hands putting this thing together on the factory floor were just a little bit happier after they owned the company instead of old AMF. Sugar Tree J has no idea that we're coming back with this bike, and like I said, it's something really special, and not just because it's the first year FXR, not just because the Shovelhead FXR was only a 2-year run, but even more than that is the power plant. Now, if you're a purist, you might not be too happy about this, but when your Shovelhead has a S&S 93 cubic inch stroker making well over 100 horsepower, now that's something special, baby. That's called the best of both worlds. Everyone who says don't do business with your friends must not have very good friends. Jason from Sessions has done a lot for both me, Shaylee's, Brapstar, and everything that we've done together out here in the PNW, making lots of good distillates, pre-rolls, and all-in-one pens for the good girls and boys of Oregon. He's not a guy who does a lot of stuff for himself, and I'm the kind of guy who does too much for himself. I figured maybe we could meet in the middle, and I'd go ahead and make the trip and pick him up this motorcycle, come back and surprise him with it. It's the kind of thing that he'd never do for himself, and I can't think of a better way to say thank you than your dream bike, but your dream bike plus about 60 horsepower over stock. Huge thanks to the guy who sold me this bike. Great dude out in Montana. I'm not gonna say what I paid for it because he probably wouldn't want me to, but if you know how much an S&S 93 cubic inch crate engine costs, well, I paid less than half of what the engine would cost for this motorcycle. Literally, if you took another Shovelhead motor, put it in this bike, you could sell the bike for more than I paid for it, and then sell the motor for probably 40% more than I paid for the bike. Anyway, I'm just saying, I wouldn't drive 1,200 miles to pick up something if it wasn't a great deal. Jason's been super good to us, and he's not only been good to us, he's been amazing to Forgotten Angels. He's donated motorcycles, he's donated money, he's donated his time. I think it's about time that he got a little win. I think that he deserves this bike, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that since he deserves it so much, I think I also deserve to ride it. So he doesn't know it exists yet, which means we're pulling over and I'm taking this thing for a ride before I bring it to him, all right? I feel like it's only right that I break it in.
First impressions, I'll tell you this. It ain't the wet spot. That 93 cubic inch S&S, that ain't how they used to make them, that's for damn sure. Me and Shaylee's original plan was to bust out the Shovelhead and the Magna in the Idaho Panhandle National Forest, but when we woke up in the morning there, it was about 27 degrees, and trust me, I ain't no fair weather rider, but I didn't feel like proving a point in 27 degrees, alright? But back down here in the Columbia River Gorge, it's not only absolutely gorgeous, but it's a brisk 60 degrees, which I'll tell you, 60 degrees out here in Oregon, it does not feel like 60 degrees back in Tampa. It's so much nicer. There's just something about freaking 50, 60 degrees in Tampa that feels so much colder than it does out here. And just like that, we're back in Washington. I love that for us. I wish we had my man Pete Carvo with us right now because I know he knows a lot of good spots in Washington, as does the king of the PNW dorks, but we're flying just me and Shaylee's today. And I just found a good road on Apple Maps and we're gonna go check it out. That's how I usually do things, to be honest with you. I should probably rely a little more on what the locals know instead of just picking something off the map because I have no idea what we're riding into. It just looked cool. Boy, that S&S shovel rips, baby. I ain't even giving it all the beans. So you can put the wet spot to shame. Of course, the wet spot's working with a pretty tired 80-inch original equipment Shovelhead engine, so there's really no comparison. God, dude, it ain't just the 60 degrees that are better. Trust me, there are things I absolutely adore about Florida. A lot of them. Man, just jumping over the Columbia River here into Washington, it's hard to remember what some of them are.
It's definitely going to be a high test. A little bit higher compression on this engine than most Shovelheads, that's for sure. For the lady, once the Magna gets 92 today, which I think this is probably supposed to take high test. I think these were pretty high compression little engines. I mean, might be an S&S Shovelhead, but it's still a Shovelhead. Any of you guys with old school Evos and shovels will know that sometimes literally just when you turn the key on, it'll actually fire over once, just because it happened to be right in the right spot on the ignition.
Dude, this thing is so nice. Like I said, it is not the wet spot, that's for damn sure. Not that there's anything wrong with my moist shovel, it just couldn't hold a candle to this one. And these repop engines, the S&S's and the Ultima shovels, they don't have a fraction of the vibration that the old school ones do. And even in the rubber mounted frame, like my old school FXR with the Shovelhead in it, dude, it rocks and rolls. And I would say it's because nobody replaced the motor mounts ever in its entire life, but they're brand new motor mounts. Just them old school shovels, man. They're not like these newer ones. These things are balanced. They run so freaking smooth compared to the original ones. It's really a testament to what a cool design it was that they can literally still make them repop and make them so much better because it's got such solid bones. I mean, there was even dudes back in the day taking old school Shovelheads in the 70s and 80s and making them make well over 100 horsepower. Like the 93 cubic inch S&S Sidewinder kit, that's what dudes were doing back in the day. Some of them were making 100 cubic inch shovels, 103s. They were boring out the cases and doing all sorts of wild stuff. The Evolution bottom end, man, it really has that longevity. It is wild what some people people have been able to do with it. Now, when I say some people, I don't mean me. I ain't no engine builder. I mean, with the right instructions, maybe I could put one together, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any innovation. I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy all that hard work that everybody else did. Oh, yeah, Florida, it ain't. That's for damn sure. This is just right off the side of the dang highway, man. After all, it's Earth Day, so I couldn't think of a better day for me and Shaylisi to jump on the bikes and to make a run through Mother Nature's cleavage. And we got see, I didn't even know we were gonna get tunnels. Being from Florida, I will never not be excited about a tunnel. Come on, baby. That's what's up. Well, if you live in an area where you got tunnels, you better appreciate it, all right? Ah, dang, this thing sounds good, too. This is the town of Lyle. Listen up, if you've got a name, I'm not trying to talk no shit, but if you got a name and it's just a single syllable, if your name is Lyle, that's not a name, that's a sound, okay? That's an exhalation, Lyle. That's not a name. That's a noise. And of course, I got plenty of good friends with noises for names. All my single syllable buddies out there, they don't take nothing away from them. I'm just calling it like I see it, baby. Oh, and that's where we're going. All right. You know, I never know what it's going to look like when I just pick one off the maps, but Old Highway 8, I'm sure someone who lives around here, if they know about it already, are going to go like, oh yeah, that's the freaking business. We just randomly picked it. Looks like we're getting rewarded this time. It's kind of the cool thing about the PNW is you can just pick a random road that looks kind of curvy, and it's going to be like the most amazing, picturesque, calendar-worthy ride you've ever been on. I never get sick of this. Oh my God, dude. I swear, I didn't even look at pictures on Google before we got on the bikes and got out here. I had no idea it was gonna be like this, baby. Dang. How could you even ride these roads fast? I'd have to ride it 100 times and just drink in every single sight with my eye holes before I ever wanted to ride it super fast because my head is just bouncing around like a pinball trying to look at everything. I feel like if I'm just focusing on bombing every corner as fast as I can, I'm not gonna enjoy everything else about it. At that point, you might as well be on a racetrack. Who cares about the view? Ow. Ow, man. Oh. This was worth pulling the bikes out, that's for sure. Dude, I had no idea this was just right on the other side of the gorge. When you're down in there, trust me, I love being in the gorge. Just like we said, we're just snaking our way through Mother Nature's cleavage, hoping she doesn't put on a push-up bra and send us to Kingdom Come. But you can't see on the other side. Like I always say, dude, Gaia is stacked, all right, baby? We ain't dealing with no flatty here. She's got what we like to call in the biz natural heavies, which makes it kind of hard to peek above them and see what you might be missing on the other side. Oh my God. We don't deserve this. I'm gonna take it anyway, but we definitely don't deserve it. But if I let not deserving something dictate what I went ahead and enjoyed, I doubt I'd barely enjoy anything at all. Dang, dude. Just right on the other side of the highway. You can freaking roll down 84 all day, freaking go up and down. And it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. Columbia River Gorge is absolutely stunning. You could ride it up and down all day long and not know this was just right over the ridge. Holy moly. Of course, you guys who live here probably already knew this was over here. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm the idiot going like, I never knew this was here. And everybody who rides out here is like, yeah, dude, we know about this. We all knew that was there. And just forgive me. I'm excitable. What can I say? Okay, I know this place is just full of wineries out here all over the place. And I'll tell you, these roads, that'd be enough to make your boy Shade Tree drink some wine, all right? I would ride down these roads if wine was at the end of it. I could be tempted to ride down these roads if nothing was at the end of it. I mean, maybe I'd just go ahead and bring an ice cold beer with me, but how are you gonna have a ride like this and not have a couple of ice cold business beers at the end, okay? If I gotta bring them with me, that's fine. We'll have ourselves a little picnic. Now, wait up for Shay a little bit. Shay's really good about riding her own ride. She never pushes herself. One of the things that I really enjoy about her, there's a lot of trust involved when you ride with somebody all the time. You gotta trust them in a lot of different ways, and one of the biggest ways you can trust somebody is when you trust them to not overextend their own abilities when you're out riding too. And Shay is really good about that. That's one of the most important bonds we have, is I know that if I go ripping down a road like this, not that I'm the world's best rider, I think I'm aggressively mediocre, but I know that if I'm riding at the edge of my limits, Shay is gonna feel zero pressure to ride at the edge of her limits or even try to do the same ride that I'm on. And that is about the most important bond of trust you can have when you're riding with somebody. Well, I think we're just gonna go ahead and turn around right here. That was so nice, I think we'll do it again. I'd say that was worth taking the bikes out for, huh? All right, I'll go ahead and say, Jason, I think you got a good bike. I think you got a good one, brother. The feminine urge to crush things that they find cute should make everybody very scared. Back in action, baby. Yeah, the 4 carburetors take a second to warm up.
It's the worst when you go stay at someone's.
You just gotta sit outside and rev your bike up 36 times.
Actually, you're just like...
There's no sneaking out when you got 4 carbs to warm up, that's for sure. Everyone says Harleys take forever to warm up. Single carb on this FXR, even though this is a Shovelhead, freaking warm up a lot faster than that dang Honda. Now it should start. I said it should start. There we go. Oh, come on now. Don't give me this mess. We can cut through the Gordian knot. This is what I get for talking shit, all right? All right, come on. Okay, I don't think that's working. Fucked up, spend 1 day on another Shovelhead and look what happens. You know, it's a good thing they make these batteries in FXR so easy to get to. I wonder if that's by design. That's the last time I say a single carburetor is easy to warm up, okay? That will never leave my mouth again. Let's try this again. You know, surprising absolutely no one, the wet spot is nowhere near the motorcycle that Jason's as of yet unnamed monster shovel is. That's all right though. What it lacks in reliability, power, handling, and looks, it makes up for in character, right? Character. That's a real shame, man, because the wet spot not starting, it just screwed up all my plans. I'd actually planned to be on time today, even a little bit early. I was gonna get in at least 10 to 15 minutes in before 11, and that's, I mean, come on, that's pretty early for me. I had really planned on getting some work done today, showing up 15 minutes early because, you know, right now, showing up at 11:15, which is more around when I usually show up, it really sometimes is hard, and it's hard on me because by the time I get situated, I say howdy to everybody, catch up with everybody, do a little bit of yoga, kind of center my chi a little bit, and get ready to do some work. You know, it's a whole process for me to do work, I'll tell you that right now. By the time I do that, well shit, boys, it's time for my lunch break. Showing up 15 minutes early, dang man, I'd have a whole quarter hour's worth of work I could do before it was time for my patented shade tree surgeon 2-hour lunch break. As it is, I'm barely gonna have any time to sit down in the bathroom for 15 to 20 minutes and visit all my favorite butts on Instagram before it's time for my lunch break. And that's just a crying damn shame. Now, I probably could have done something about it, but oh my God, dude, when you've got a road like this on the way into work, you take the long way. And I'm just not willing to sacrifice that, okay? I'm not willing to sacrifice and take the highway instead of taking this road into work. So, I guess we'll say our hellos, like some butts on Instagram, and then head straight into lunch. What can I say? I tried, just the universe conspired against me. What can I do? What can I do? If the universe wants me to spend the first hour of work chilling out, centering my chi, liking butts on Instagram, and lowballing dudes on Facebook Marketplace, then who am I to argue? An insignificant ant versus the enormity of the universe. I must fall in line. I must do my duty. I can't change fate. It has been decreed, and who am I to spit in the eye of the gods? Surely Jason will understand. Kind of ironic that I'm surprising my buddy with FXR Shovelhead that's way nicer than my FXR Shovelhead, but hey, you know what? I think he earned it, all right? He earned it a lot more than I did, at least. I think I'm gonna fall more in line with Sisyphus and still be cursed with a boulder. But if I didn't have my boulder to push, I just don't even know what I'd do with myself.
Good news, guys. I actually got to work in time, not only to take my 20-minute bathroom break to cruise Facebook Marketplace and my Instagram butts, but I also had time to do my yoga. I also had time to say what's up to everybody. And guess what? Here we are. It's time for my lunch break. But even better than that, now that Sugar Tree Jay has a reason to, he's gonna go ahead and join us for our patented Brapstar Sessions half-day lunch break. You can't be on a brand new FXR and not take a half day, baby. Listen, there's got to be some perks. This is the Brapstar business plan. Step 1, Shovelhead FXR. Step 2, Step 3, profit.
What do you do to destroy?
Dude, I always be working on cars with them and stuff. I took them cross country. They even look nice after that. And then I did a long trip in my Winnebago and I used these as my work gloves. I had to work on it like every 20 miles.
A pair of gloves will last 4 years.
He goes through a helmet in less than a year.
I know. Well, he fucking rides.
I'm the sweatiest dude on the planet is the real issue. Like just sitting here not even getting a video of the fact that Jason's new Shovelhead straight up matches. I don't even know what year this is. His 1964 Buick, dude. Which we'll have to bust out the sound system in this thing later because it is kicking. This car rules. Cross your fingers, boys. Surely a third time's a charm. I think this might be 4 though. There we go. Well, goddamn, dude, if it ain't true. That meme format when girls say everything they want from a guy, 6'6", 6 figures salary, clean, nice, and the list goes on and on. And dude will fall in love with a Taco Bell cashier. Well, let me tell you what, boys, it's true, even though you probably already knew that. I think my heart skipped a beat and I fell in love for lucky number 7th of the day with that FedEx girl. Once I saw her running across the yard, rolling those Nat 20s. Hey, let it not be said, don't get me twisted, all right? Brapstar is a safe place for natural heavies. You know what? For aftermarket bolt-ons too. Like Shay Lisi always says, as long as it's got a nipple on the end of it, it's a real tit. Did you see that FedEx girl with the Nat 20s running across the yard? No, that was a fucking girl and she had big tits. I seen her. Maybe I imagined it, dude. I'm getting fucking gaslit right now. Jason, do you have a Ring camera? All right, on the road, baby. Our very first time heading out for 2/3 of Shovelhead summer. In order to complete the Triforce and have the ultimate power of Shovelhead summer with the 3 musketeers here, the 3 amigos, there is another that must be fixed. While Shay Lisi does love her Magna, the Magna ain't a Shovelhead, is it? And it's in the name, baby. When we get set loose, when we ooze across America, it's gonna be on the same kind of bike that brought us all together.
My bolt fell out my license plate.
All right, went by Harley Davidson because license plate bolts is about the only free thing you're gonna get at a Harley Davidson dealership. Show him that knife, Shay. Dang, dude. Pull that sucker out. Whoa, hey, chill.
Knife crime.
That's a Vehement, another business gift from our man Sugar Tree Jay, who is a knife aficionado. If you're a knife guy, you know Vehement, that's for sure. Well, anyway, the other thing we tried to get was these top bolts, which are not super necessary on 35 millimeters because these things hold them in. And Harley Davidson wanted $26 a piece for those bolts. So we're just gonna go ahead and trust that the top caps will hold it in. Or I guess I could give you one of mine. We'll both have one.
You can go to Ace and we
go to Ace.
Well, Shaylacey picked this one off Apple Maps, the town of Vernonia. Looked like really cool roads heading up to it through the Oregon mountains. Well, I guess the Oregon foothills on the way to the coast. We were going to go all the way out to Astoria so we could yell, "It's not a Duma," but Jason has got a play to go to. Even when it's time to ride his new Shovelhead, family still comes first, and I really love that about him. So we're going to go as far as Vernonia before we head back. It looked really cool on the map. Unfortunately, since we made a detour on the way here, within a mile in, I really need to stop using Apple Maps, man, because I had nothing but off-highway selected on this really cool route full of twisty roads, and it completely rerouted me because I went like 10 feet off course. It rerouted me into a U-turn and had me get on the highway for most of the way here. Needless to say, pretty frustrating. And if you use Apple Maps, I guarantee that has happened to you a ton of times. I really need to get off this and start using Google Maps. So frustrating, especially when you're trying to plan a good ride on your motorcycle. Now that we're off the highway, I got few complaints though. As usual, once you got a road like this in front of you and a motorcycle underneath you, hard to remember what was ever aggravating you in the first place. Why would you think about aggravation on a beautiful day like this? A motorcycle like this, with roads like this. Hard for me to be annoyed at all. In fact, I'd say damn near impossible. And even though we got Sugar Tree Jay to play hooky from work, we ain't gonna get him to play hooky from the fans. Though I'll probably keep the cameras out of the kids' very first singing role in the play. They like showing off their soccer moves for everybody. The play, well, we'll just leave that to them and the parents. There's nothing but big old sweepers up to Vernonia. We dig it. Cool road. Very different from what we were doing the other day. Just big, easy sweepers right up this mountain. We love it. We love a little speed. Well, you know, what little speed the wet spot can muster. Dang, you imagine living out here? God, it ain't even that far in the sticks, man. It ain't that far outside of Portland. Like freaking 30 minutes? Maybe more like 45. Maybe close to an hour with traffic. Okay. I mean, it's kind of in the sticks, but I don't know. People have farther commutes. That's for damn sure. Living out on this road might be worth it, baby. All right, let's see what the town of... Oh, wait, it's not Vernonia. It's Vernonia. All right, let's see if the Blue Cafe in Vernonia is delicious or not.
Shaylacey picked today, which means we're eating Middle Eastern food.
You guys let me pick.
You guys should.
Yeah.
You guys should know that when you give me the assignment, I will understand the assignment and choose wrong.
I haven't tried the Dolomite grape leaves in a very long time. Last time I tried them, I was definitely not as adventurous as I am now. If you freaking smother something in enough tzatziki sauce, it's always going to be good.
Oh,
you know, I feel like this would be great without the leaf. 3 cheers to Sugar Tree Jay because he bought us all. If you've ever wondered what $8 of balaclava looks like,
I was not that.
yeah, it's not that, but that's what it costs.
Pretty fucking good though.
Delicious. It is very good. If I didn't know the price, I'd like it even more. Okay, we're very skeptical, and Jason's with me. Anytime I walk into a place and it feels feminine or feminist, I'm just like, this is going to suck. It is what it is. I know myself, and I walked in here and I went, if I didn't love Shay, I would be like, we're going to the place that I picked out, which was called not the Blue Cafe with its beautiful super books inside and its decor. My place was called Buckshot Betty's, and they serve big ass burgers. I was wrong. Shay was right. The food was delicious. So sometimes you just gotta trust the girls in your life and eat at the Blue Cafe. Anyway, let's ride. Bro, the stories we just told about Buckshot Betty screaming at the top of our lungs here in the middle of downtown Vernonia, it's never gonna live up to the hype. There we go. At Buckshot Betty's, there's a gimp with a ball bag cooking your chicken wings. You! Buckshot Betty's. Definitely not fun for the whole family. Buckshot Betty's. Big ass burgers. They freaking owe me royalties at this point. You're allowed to use it. I'm magnanimous like that, okay? Although if I go into Buckshot Betty's and there's a guy in a full leather gimp suit with a ball gag in, and they got a girl with some cock crunchers out there kicking people in the nuts on their birthdays, I'm gonna expect at least a free meal, okay? Buckshot Betty's Blasphemy Burger. Made with extra tender demon flesh from the beyond.
Buckshot Betty's Bolo Brains. Now made with less than 50% human brains. Yeah! Buckshot Betty's Backdoor Brown. It's literally just poop. This poop is funny. Whoa, whoa. Did he break down? Buckshot Betty's bike breakdown. Let's go see what happened to Jason in the FXR. Welcome to FXR problems, let alone Shovelhead problems. Clutch, really, it's like done? I'm sorry, man.
Slipping, like on the way here.
Worst comes to worst, we'll park it. Me and Shay will double up, and then I'll come back with the trailer because it's at the house. I'll pick it up. Oh, yeah, dude. I've got it in gear. It's like nothing, dude. Jason, I'm sorry, man. I know that's frustrating.
It's part of the game, bro.
Yeah.
Jason broke down. The bike breakdown.
Off to a banger, baby.
Yeah, a banger of a breakdown, but he's still gonna make Brody's play for his singing part, which I promised we wouldn't film. We're gonna let his first singing part just be between him and his folks. Me and Shay Lisi are gonna take care of this Shovelhead, and hopefully Jason isn't 2 for 2 today, and at least one Shovelhead gets him home. Good luck.
Thank you.
I push heavier bikes further than 1.3 miles.
Cheap housing. It's an Airbnb. I knew it. Let me go ask them.
Say yes, that'd be dope. Not have to push all the way back.
Best breakdown ever.
We were gonna push the motorcycle all the way back in town, but then we found this witch's cottage out here instead, giving us cookies.
I trust all witches, okay?
Anyway, she's gonna let us leave the motorcycle here so I don't have to push it 1.5 miles. That helps a lot.
This is my mom's dream, is to like just sell all her trinkets. Shut up. Look at these little keychains. Winner.
Well, that worked out great. I don't have to push the bike 2.5 miles. I get to park it next to somebody's house, and it only cost me $44 in jams, cookies, and pottery, but that's all right. Shay's happy. 2 up on the 500cc Magna. It's not the first time, it probably won't be the last time, and it's definitely not gonna be the farthest we've gone on it. We did like over 100 miles on the Magna 2 up once. And it was also because a Shovelhead broke down. And the mighty Magna is away. Here I come to save the day. The Magna truly is Mighty Mouse. Especially when you think this little bike really wasn't designed for this weight. It probably wasn't designed for my weight, period. Because baby, you better believe it, I'm 300 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. 6 feet of American beef with a body that women crave and men fear. That definitely wasn't made for a 500cc Japanese bike. Not to mention that, but you throw this little howler monkey back there, Shay clinging to my back like a baby koala, and we're probably about double the recommended weight for this motorcycle. And that was when all the shocks were new and not leaking oil everywhere. We'll just say this though, is it really a Honda unless you're asking way too much of it and it still finds itself up to the task? And in that regard, I feel like Jason got the true Shovelhead experience today, the true FXR experience. Is it really a Shovelhead trip? Is it really the Shovelhead maiden voyage if it doesn't break down? Gotta rip off that Band-Aid quick, baby. If we're doing Shovelhead summer, Sugar Tree J better get used to Honda saving the day, because the Shovelheads, a box of chocolates, we'll call it. A box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Somebody, where's the fire, Chief? Okay, where's the fire? What's hilarious about that is literally this little V30 Magna, even with me and Shay on it, could probably smoke that bike, but it's a suspension over these bumpy roads at high rates of speed that I'm not exactly confident in. We're doing a lot of floating and bottoming out here over very small bumps. Yeah, in my head, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to catch up to him. I'm going to catch him, dude. There's no way he's going to do these twisties faster than me on this little Magna, but I just went over a little dip in the road, and I'm pretty sure the bike got airborne afterwards, so maybe I ought to chill out. God, I love these bikes, dude. What a shame that Honda stopped making the Magna. These things are freaking
brilliant bikes, just phenomenal machines. It's like so frustrating to think that Honda stopped making this bike for the Honda Shadow. Like, nothing against the Honda Shadow. I mean, they're great bikes. People put tons of miles on Shadows and had so much fun, and they brought so many people into the world of motorcycles. But just thinking about the fact that we gave up the Honda Magna, the V30, V4, and the 700, the V45, the V45. We had that, and we got the 750 Magna, dude. It just, it pisses me off. This is what Honda could have been, and instead we got Harley knockoff plastic chrome crap. Ah, well, again, I'm not trying to make anybody who owns a Honda Shadow feel bad. They're amazing motorcycles that people have amazing adventures on, and people love them very much, but it ain't the Magna.
As I said, there is another. I hope you guys didn't forget about Big Black over here. The Tour Glide Shovelhead. I don't know. It's going to have a different name than Big Black. The Black Destroyer?
Let's go ahead and hard stop. Let's choose another name.
Bad Dragon. Anyway, we're going to get this running because if we're going to do Shovelhead Summer, we need 3 Shovelheads, and it's going to be another day till the parts for the FXR are here. All right, new stator on the Tour Glide, aka Bad Dragon. Shay Lisi doesn't like it, but that's all right. I think if Shay Lisi liked the name Bad Dragon too much, that would be a bad thing. Unfortunately, Harley, in their infinite wisdom, has put the stator on big twins. When I say big twins, I mean Shovelheads and Evos. Not just behind the outer primary, but behind the inner primary. So the outer primary cover has to come off. Also, the clutch hub has to come off. The compensator has to come off. And then the inner primary has to come off, which means the starter has to come off, which means the floorboards have to come off. It's not exactly a little job. It's not exactly hard either. It's just a little bit tedious. Oh no, that was so much more than I thought it was going to be. It's also very thin. It's gas. The gas leaking through the cylinders. We got to change the oil in this. I'm so glad we did this. What happens is the gas, when it leaks past the carburetor into the cylinders, it eventually seeps down past the piston rings.
Yeah.
That's what this.
That
smell
could
it?
have been a problem.
Before I go too much further on the other side pulling stuff apart, let's go ahead and disconnect the battery because I've got all my digits right now and I don't need a cool new nickname. 9 Finger Josh.
Pinkyless Josh.
This bike was designed to beat the Goldwing because everything was so like zero maintenance, low maintenance. Like
that's what they made this bike for, low maintenance.
For zero maintenance, it is. This bike is almost zero maintenance.
Really? Doesn't feel like it.
The chain drive oils itself, so you never have to fucking oil it. This is hooked up to the oiling system, and it automatically oils your chain in there. That was Goldwing's things. They were like really zero maintenance. All right, let's see if we can get this nut off. Usually Harley Davidson compensator nuts are like a night out with the boys having some bathroom beers in the cool guys club. Hard to get off.
I weigh like nothing. This isn't gonna do anything. You should sit on it.
If sitting on it doesn't work, try stepping on it. Come on, man. That's insane.
There we go. That took some work.
Oh, when you put them on correctly, it should be on just that tight when you put it on again. So this is called safety wire.
Oh, okay. But this thing only has 4,000 miles in it.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably just they did it from the factory. I'll call Joe and just ask him, and I guarantee Joe knows Shovelheads better than anybody I've ever met. Hey Joe.
What are you up to?
Replacing a stator on an 82 Tour Glide. The bike only has 4,000 miles on it. The inner primary bolts inside here are all safety wired. Is that factory like they call for that, so I should re-safety wire these things?
Yeah, that was how they locked them in place back in the day.
Red Loctite ain't gonna cut it, or blue Loctite a safety wire gun and put it back that way?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust just a thread locker on it because, see, the reason they did that is because it's Tour Glide. Everything's rubber mount, so everything moves.
All right, well, cool. That answered my question. I was like, you know, before I just go ahead and say, let me not do this, I better call Joe and see what see what the deal.
Just go to Harbor Freight and buy you a can of safety wire and a pair of pliers, man.
That's exactly.
Okay, clutch hub. Does that come off with the primary? Does it stay attached to the transmission?
To pull the inner primary.
Oh, so I need a puller tool for that? I appreciate the hell out of you. If I come across anything else, you know me, I'm like, I'll try not to call you, but if I need to, I'm not going to hesitate that long.
man.
I appreciate the hell out of you, man.
All right, see you, bud.
All right, see ya. Everybody's pitching in. With Shay, it's more of a compulsion than anything else. She's good at cleaning. She just doesn't want to be.
Oh, I want to do something else. Please, brain, let me do something else.
This is Brody, aka Laserface, his very first motorcycle ride going to practice. That's pretty freaking cool. I like that a lot. Back at it again, getting Bad Dragon back on the road. Learning a little bit about Shovelheads. As I've said before, one of the cool things about Harley Davidsons is, since all the stuff is so similar, a lot of people complain about that. They say Harley never innovates, they never change anything. But for me, it makes it really easy because when I've worked on one Harley, I kind of know what to expect when I start working on another one. But there is small differences, and I've never actually pulled the inner primary off a Shovelhead before. Luckily, Joe the Mountain Jedi told me I needed the clutch hub puller. Do need to safety wire it back on, so Buddy Bezos to the rescue. I've got my safety wire pliers here, some safety wire, and of course the Chinesium Special. Fortunately, not hit with the tariffs yet. I guess this one was already in America. One day Buddy Bezos Special to pull the clutch hub. So let's go ahead and do that and get old Bad Dragon here back to jiggling. There we go. That's how.
No, what happened?
No, that's fine. That was what was supposed to happen.
Okay.
It's supposed to come off. No, it's fine. All right, we should be good on this. Hopefully there's nothing else super important holding it on. Yeah, these were not super tight, so I imagine if they were not safety wired, that would be pretty bad. Definitely is acting like there's still something holding it on the bottom. They put a lot of effort into making these things zero maintenance, and it does not do you any favors when you actually have to maintain it. Zero maintenance means they didn't make it for you to take it apart. Don't know if there's one more thing holding it off that I've missed or if it's just being a pain in the ass.
I see the line. So there's that hose, there's another hose.
Yeah, the hose will have to come off, but that's not what's keeping it on.
No, I'm just looking, visually ascertaining. What about this thing?
Let's see if I can look at that.
Grr, I hate looking things up. Wish I could just visually ascertain it. Stupid.
Getting off the inner primary has proved much harder than expected, although I guess I should have expected the worst. I couldn't find any good video on how to do this, so I'm going to put it in this one, and then no one will ever see it who has this because the video won't be, it'll be titled something else. But regardless, there's two separate pieces in here. There's the housing that keeps the oil bath on the chain and sprocket, but then there's also the inner primary housing that fits onto that. Anyway, this is specific to Tour Glides and FXRs that had this low maintenance key spec here that makes it very hard to maintain. So there's a couple of hidden bolts on the other side, and these boots that enclose the chain also have to be taken off. And hopefully that's it, but we will see. I have to pretend it's going back. Yeah, it's on now. I have to pretend it's going back on because, believe it or not, I'm not a professional mechanic. Believe it or not, I'm also not a professional YouTuber.
Good thing I was here though.
Yeah, if Jason wasn't here, I don't know what I would have done. The second he got back, we got it off. It was pretty fucking amazing. Anyway, it's off, and it's not easy. Anything that's zero maintenance, not just motorcycles. If you have something that is zero maintenance,
it's a lie.
They have done something to that. They have made that so it is just really hard to work on if something does break. No such thing as zero maintenance. So you might as well make it easy to fix instead of pretending like it'll never need it. Gold wings are the same way. If something really goes wrong with the gold wing, old ones anyway. The new ones they made a lot easier to work on.
Yeah. That one.
There we go.
How did they even work though?
Magnets, nobody knows. I've seen this happen too. These have like cracked and fallen off. When mine broke, one of these literally fell off and just shredded inside of there.
No shit.
Yeah, they're just glued on. Pretty heavy duty adhesive, but they're just glued on. This thing, one of these came off, and that is insane. I'm pulling this back out. I think we have a defective stator. So you might not be riding this today. I'm sorry, dude. I hate to say that, but look at this. This was on here. There was barely any movement, which means this pulled out so fucking easily. I'm sorry, man.
Does that mean it's fucked?
I just wouldn't trust it putting it back together because I'm just like, if it pulled out that easily just right now.
Oh my god, dude. That's crazy.
I just don't trust it at all. I'm really sorry, dude. I hate to say that. I wouldn't trust this, but we will order another one and I would try to send this one back. Look how easily this one's pulling out, dude. Look at this. Look, dude.
What? Did the whole thing just come apart?
The whole thing just came apart, dude. Now, I could fucking solder it in there, but at the end of the day, it makes me not trust it. All right, in further Shovelhead troubles, it's all character building experience. As Shaylisi says, one must imagine Sisyphus as happy because the alternative sucks. Shovelheads being a constant character building experience, and the parts that you get for them sometimes are manufactured out of pure Chinesium, and they're not always the best. It's not like, oh, avoid this brand. They all have the possibility of this happening. It's just low quality standards, poor workmanship, and like, I get it, I'm part of the problem. I buy stuff from overseas all the time. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry about it that hard, although it is pretty frustrating that it happened. There is almost no alternative though. I don't know if there's any American companies left that actually make stators for these bikes. I know that there are a couple cool American companies. Ricky Stator makes really cool stators, but he's mostly doing stuff for dirt bikes and two strokes that are trying to run big light kits. I have a Ricky Stator on my KTM 300. And for a lot of this old stuff, especially this electronic stuff, your only option is the stuff that's made overseas because that's the only place they make it. And every once in a while, you get a bummer. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one off, and I don't know if it'll make it run this episode. We're gonna try to, but let's get the FXR running so we can at least have one win. Well, after pulling the outer primary off the FXR, found out that the clutch is actually fine. Good news, right? Good news comes with bad news, because the bad news was it definitely still wasn't making forward progress, and that was due to a completely shredded primary drive belt. Now, I get back in the day that a lot of people put these primary drive belts on motorcycles, the enclosed belt drive. Harley was doing it for a little while. Honestly, I don't see any advantage to it. I get that a lot of people want to plug up the primaries on these old school FXRs and FLTs because they share engine oil with a primary, and people are saying like, oh, you got clutch material on there. But I honestly can't see any reason to keep this a belt. I always hear about them shredding. I just don't think it's a great idea. So we're going to take everything out of this and convert it back to a chain primary that is plugged up, so it actually doesn't share the oil with the engine. I think that's the best of both worlds. I know that this would actually be considered an upgrade, but I think that I don't know. I can't see any reason to stick with this belt drive, especially because I think the reason it's shredded is somebody tried to take that clutch hub off with a piece of metal that was way harder than the splines on there because they're all gouged to hell. So I'm pretty sure if we put another belt on it, it's going to do the same thing. Right now we're 0-2, and hopefully we're not 0-3. At least one single shovel head, but between the three of them has got to run. Yeah, I'll take that jump pack. There we go. Why wouldn't it? All right. Well, you didn't quite make meatloaf standards. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's gonna have to be 1 out of 3 today.
The wet spot abides. One of them had to make it, right? If we went 0-3 on Shovelheads this weekend, I don't know, man. I've never been one to pay attention to signs from the gods, but even that one maybe I couldn't ignore. Shovelhead summer is off to a rather ignominious start, but pretty much the start that I would have imagined. Because I can't imagine the 3 musketeers going on their trips this summer on their mighty steeds, these 3 Shovelheads, without doing a bit of a shakedown run first. So, at least this stuff happened here and now, where we have access to tools in a garage and not in the middle of Death Valley. And Jason's being a really good sport about his introduction to Shovelheads being so, we'll say, colorful. Shovelheads are the reason we all met each other, and that's what we're doing all summer long, baby. Come hell or high water, for good or ill. And even if we do break down in the middle of Death Valley, one of the cool things about old Harley Davidsons is there's always the part you need within like 25 miles of where you're at. I don't care whose door you got to knock on. It might not be next day delivery from Buddy Bezos, and your local Harley Davidson dealership definitely ain't gonna have it on the shelf. But some old coot in the back of his garage or in his garden shed, or hell, man, with a lot of these old builders, maybe in one of his kitchen cupboards, he has got the part to keep your shovel head moving down the road. I have not been failed on that front yet. By hook or by crook, these will move your body down the road. It's just that sometimes you gotta get just a little bit creative with it.
Well, team, back here at Sunnyvale, and I think that's gonna about wrap this one up. 1 for 3 on the shovel heads didn't exactly make me feel good, but it is what it is. Fortunately, I'm not gonna be able to fix them in this video because this video is coming out today, the same day I'm filming this. We got tons of more cool stuff coming, both with sessions, Brapstar, and stuff we're doing out here in the PNW. We got a couple of really cool things planned, and of course, awesome stuff back in the Wang as well. The Miami device is still very much up for grabs. Forgotten Angels raffle is still going. Grab your ticket down below. We're giving away, of course, the Square Grouper, the custom road glide, and also a Buell for you guys who aren't that into the whole road glide thing. 100% of that money goes directly to benefit Forgotten Angels and their fight to end the cycle of abuse in the foster care system, which, along with Shovelheads, is the whole reason I met Jason when he donated 2 motorcycles to Forgotten Angels, and me and Shay Lucy rode him home from Portland. That link's down below. Go ahead and grab a ticket and be a bad person doing good things. And until next time, y'all, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.